Hi, I'm John with Rio Grande. I'm here to show you how to use the Swanstrom centering dies. Let's get started. The center positioning dies are available for both the round cutters as well as the shaped cutters. The positioning dies for the round cutter, you'll see they come to a point. For the shaped cutters, you'll see that they are stepped. We're going to start with the round cutters and the round positioning dies, and then we'll go to the oval. The first thing you'll need to decide on is what size your center hole is going to be and what size your disc is going to be. And you're going to cut your center hole first. Okay? So I'm going to do this size here. Right there is going to be my center hole. And then I will do this size as my disc size. You want to make sure that you feed your metal in just far enough. So what I mean by that is, so I'm wanting to cut this as the center hole and this one here as my outer diameter. If I was to feed this metal all the way in, I'm just going to go ahead and mark this real quick. If I was to feed that metal all the way in, and I punched my hole, whenever I came over here and I tried to do the same thing, it's not going to be in center. So you have to think about your orientation of your metal. So feeding it in this way, you have a problem. But if I feed it in this way, I can make it work. Okay? So let me just go ahead and do my center hole, and I'm going to punch it about yay. Always use a shim opposite of the metal, and that keeps the plates even and it provides a much better cut. Here we go. Now, one quick, firm hit is the best way to cut a disc. If you are doing multiple strikes, then your edges are not going to be that clean. All right, I'm going to pull that back out. I'm going to go to my final size. I will put my metal in, grab the center positioning die, drop it in, make sure that it is seated firmly. Again, shim, tighten down your disc cutter, pull it out, and now that hole is perfectly centered with the outside diameter of your disc. We'll go ahead and punch this one out. And there you go, a perfect washer. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the centering dies for the shaped disc cutters. As you can see, this is a stepped die. Let me move that out of the way, maybe that'll be better. So you can see that it is stepped. It is not pointed like a round die is. Each one of these steps will correspond to the next size in the disc cutter itself. So the process is going to be the same whenever you're using the shaped center positioning dies. So you're going to cut your inner dimension first, and then you will cut your outer dimension. And these are the two holes that I'm going to be using. So this might come as a surprise, but hardened material cuts better than dead soft material. That's because a dead soft material can actually stretch or start stretching before it starts to cut. And a material that's in a hardened state will actually resist the stretching and start cutting sooner. Okay? So what I did is I rolled out some 16 gauge copper to 18 gauge, and that hardened the material. And now I'm going to cut my inner dimension. So it's going to go in this side here. Just like the other, you will put a shim of the same gauge material opposite. Go ahead and snug it. I'll get my cutter, and I've already put a little bit of burr life here on this cutter. I'll go ahead and put some more. And now we're going to cut. Okay. Now there is my inner dimension, and I'm going to go to the other side to get my larger dimension. Put my metal in. Remember, this is a stepped die, so it will interlock into that inner dimension, or that size of an oval. Make sure that it seats well in the sheet. You can always, if you're unsure, you can always flip it over and look. But you can feel it whenever it seats in. Shim. Snug it up. And now a little bit of burr life on this punch. And we're going to cut. And there it is. And that's how you use the Swanstrom center positioning dies. I hope this information has been helpful. And if you have any questions about these products or any of our products, please contact us.